Today's Crown Signia XLE is provided by Southeast Toyota and my local dealer, Germain Toyota of Naples. Special thanks to them for providing this beautiful review sample. Now let's get straight into this fuel economy test. We're back at the airport with Toyota's brand new Crown Signia, hybrid only, 240 horsepower from the 4th generation, 2.5 liter hybrid. It is all-wheel drive only. We'll talk more about that in today's video. You check out some airplanes taking off. Now, is this going to take off with fuel economy? Today we're going to find out. It's a hybrid. It's rated at around 38 miles per gallon. In town, around 39 miles per gallon. We're going to fill it up. I've been doing exclusively town driving so far. I put over 125 miles on it this week, taking the kids to school. And now we're going to go ahead and fill it up, and then we'll do some highway driving and then fill it up again to see what kind of fuel economy we're gonna get out of this gorgeous wagon. You guys in the comments on the last video of the Crown Signia said, hey, it's not a wagon. I mean, tomato, tomato, it's a lifted wagon to me. Yes, I would like it lower to the ground, but yeah, you could always do that aftermarket if you really want to, but it's definitely a wagon. It's a beautiful vehicle inside and out, in my opinion, but it is a little bit low on the fuel economy rating, at least from the EPA. So we're gonna go ahead, get in, saddle up, buckle in, and let's check out what the fuel economy is gonna be on Toyota's brand new semi-premium Crown Signia. All right, putting into drive here, leaving the good old airport. Naples Airport, if you guys didn't know. Yes, Naples has an airport. There's an academy here to train pilots. And people come from all over the world to come to school here and learn to become a pilot. Maybe one day I'll get my pilot's license. I like to move anything and be in command of anything that moves, from bicycles to motorcycles to cars, potentially planes one day, as a childhood dream of mine. The Crown Signia, this is going to be, I'm going to talk about not anything about the overall general how the car handles. I'm not going to talk about my overall review. I already did a review on it. Go ahead and check it out. I also compared to the Lexus NX 350h. This video is dedicated exclusively to the powertrain and fuel economy. All right, driving in town. Let's talk, oh gosh. Yeah, please don't pass Camry. Camry TRD? Oh, that was a Camry TRD. Gosh, I'm blinded right now. Let's talk about how this drives. For this 2.5 liter, it feels kind of heavy. Not that the vehicle feels heavy, but it feels like the powertrain has to lug around a little bit of weight here. This is about, I don't know, 150 pounds more than what the NX 350h weighs. It's 10 inches longer than that vehicle. And so compared to like the Camry that uses a similar powertrain than this powertrain seems to have to work a lot harder to get it up to speed. However, the new Camry has a 5th gen hybrid, which is more powerful, more efficient, quieter, more compact, all that good stuff. And here, well, it just has to seemingly work harder to get this vehicle up to speed. All right, now in town driving, it does no problem getting it up to speed. You're just gonna have to push this little fuel economy gauge, I guess you could call it. It's not a tachometer, it's your power gauge. There's a 12 o'clock position where it switches over from eco to power, and you typically kind of have to be at the 12:30, 1 o'clock setting here. I'll go ahead and get to there to keep up with the speed of normal traffic, all right, for general acceleration in town. When you get under that, it's really, really slow, but that's where you're going to get the best fuel economy, right? So this 4th gen system doesn't like to be in EV very much, EV mode where the gasoline engine's off, typically under 45 miles an hour. If you're coasting, steady state, or slightly decelerating or greatly decelerating, it will go into EV mode. It'll kill the engine. If you're above 45 miles an hour, it hardly ever, I've seen it maybe once this week where it'll go into EV mode just coasting. The battery's got to be pretty full here. And so I believe this battery is I'll have to fact check myself, but I believe it's a nickel metal hydride battery.
The new Camry with the 5th gen setup is a lithium ion, and I think those are a little bit better at it's a more efficient battery. It recharges maybe a little bit quicker with the 5th gen hybrid system. It's like, well, it seems like the engine has to run a lot to keep this battery topped off, where in the Camry, I know I'm just sitting here, we're not doing a lot of driving. The Camry's 5th gen system, it acts more as a generator, and then it'll turn off once the battery's topped off a lot. It'll turn off, and then you're coasting a ton in electric mode in the new Camry. Here, it really has to use the engine a lot to assist with the propulsion. And so, like I said, not only does it feel like it has to work harder here, the engine's on more as a result too. So overall, not nearly as smooth or as quiet as the new 5th gen hybrid from Toyota. Thank God this light finally turned green. But the engine just kicked on immediately there. Sometimes it'll get up to about 15 miles an hour before the engine kicks on. But yeah, it kicked on immediately there because the battery's pretty low. Now, I don't think I've ever seen this battery get to about 2 bars, and I've never seen it past 5 or 6 bars. I believe this is 8 bars. Toyota likes to do 8 bars to the battery. I've never seen it get below 3, and I've never seen it get above 6. Okay, so this really likes to be, it doesn't like the battery to get worn down much. Or in my Prius, my 3rd gen hybrid Prius, it'll get down to 2 bars, and then it'll also get up to like 7 bars. Rarely does it get up to 8 bars. So this, at least how this is tuned, it just hardly dips into the full capacity of the battery. What is that good for? Well, it's good for longevity. This battery is going to last forever. The nickel metal hydrides are extremely reliable, and how Toyota's tuned them, they hardly ever get fully charged or depleted. They're not used very much compared to the full capacity here. I'll go and put on the screen what the full capacity of this battery is. It's probably somewhere around 1 kilowatt hour. As we look at the RAV4 hybrid, it's the exact same hybrid powertrain, at least from the engine and the motor perspective. But as we get in the brakes here, it's something I'm not a big fan of here, but I'm getting used to it. It's a lot of brake pedal here that you need to stop this thing. I believe a lot of the RAV4s are on lithium ion. Okay, so we're kind of stuck here because a lot of these cars are trying to turn left, cut in. It's a long vehicle, but visibility's been good, at least from my perspective. I believe also from other people's perspectives. Like, I feel like I have no problem being seen here with this long wagon, and since it looks so unique, haven't had any issues merging into traffic and whatnot. And so this is a good real-world application of city driving. It's pretty much getting to rush hour 7:42. This is a very busy industrial road here next to the airport, as you would imagine. And so, yeah, now I'm just coasting and fully electric. I have the hybrid system up for you so you guys can see what's going on at all times with this hybrid system. Here's one of my complaints about any Toyota or Lexus vehicle. They feature auto brake hold, which I love that feature because I'm at a stop, I can take my foot off the brake and just relax here, and the car's not going to lurch forward. It keeps the brake on hold until I press the gas pedal again. But I have to press this button every single time I turn the car back on from the off. So in the morning, I get in the car, I turn it back on. All right, come home, turn it off, go pick the kids back up. I have to turn it back on every time I start the car up. All right, but sitting at the stoplight there, just one of the big benefits of a hybrid, completely vibrationless. That makes sense. No vibrations at a stop, no engine noise at a stop. The engine turns off. Your AC is still pumping cold. It's not like how a lot of the Germans do it, or a lot of the Americans if they don't have a hybrid. They kill the engine to save fuel. It shakes the whole car. It tries to pump in air, but the air is not air conditioned because the engine's not running to run the belt to the compressor. That's one of the huge benefits here, especially if you live in a warm climate or you have hot summers. Like, hybrids have their AC runs off the battery, the big traction battery here, so you don't have to worry about the engine shaking the car, which it doesn't hardly ever. You hear it come on in this vehicle, rarely do you feel it. But the engine start stop feature in a hybrid, it's extraordinarily smooth, and it's just there in the background. All right, so yes, one of the other inherent benefits of a hybrid, AC all the time. The downfall of them in the winter time, the battery doesn't perform as well in the cold. Well, the nickel metal hydride does a better job than lithium ion, to my understanding. In the cold, it's still not great. So your fuel economy goes down in the cold because the battery efficiency is not as good as it is. Like right now, it's 75, which is like perfect battery efficiency. So the Crown Signia is loving this right now with the weather that I have on this beautiful November morning here in Southwest Florida. And like I said, under 45 miles an hour right now, the battery's in a place where it's happy enough to just let this run in electric while keeping up with traffic. But the second I go, well, I put my foot a little bit in to reaccelerate from 38 to about 42 there, and the engine kicks back on. So I just want a little bit more electrified propulsion here, where it seems to be majority engine propulsion, and then if you're lucky when you're coasting, the battery will take over and the engine will shut off. But it's rare and not very common, and so that's why this vehicle is probably only going to get about 45 miles per gallon in town, is my estimation. I think this clock is going to be pretty accurate. Now I'm going about 57 here, locked it in cruise control. You can see the battery's helping out with the engine here. This really only happens if the battery's topped off enough. Otherwise, the engine is fueling the battery for the most part on anything that's above like 45 to 50 miles an hour. All right, so we'll probably see it shift over here in a little bit, but as a result, since the battery is able to provide some juice to this electric motor, it's telling me I'm getting close to 60 miles an hour steady state here at 57 miles per gallon. I found this to be the happy place of the Crown Signia with this 4th gen hybrid. It is definitely the most efficient from about 45 to 60 miles per hour. All right, we'll see where it's at fuel efficient wise when we're at 75 miles an hour on the interstate here in a little bit. All right, this is the strangest fuel economy result I've ever seen. Okay, now here's the truth of the matter. Right when I pulled up to the pump I wanted to fill up at, because I filled up at that same pump last time, someone pulled up to it, so I pulled up to the pump behind that. So that might have something to do with it, but we're seeing a huge difference from what the clock is saying and how much gas was put in, or how much fuel economy I'm getting. So I traveled 138.4 miles and I divided that by 3.865 gallons, and it's saying 35.8 miles per gallon. I think I'm getting a lot better than that, but the pump is, well, like there's going to be some error with that pump, I would say. And then we also, the clock is saying I'm getting 10 miles per gallon better than what the gas tank fill up is telling me. Let's get on the highway. We'll come back to that same pump after our highway. I'll make sure 100%, even if I have to wait in line to get to that same exact pump, we'll go back to that same pump after a highway run, and we'll talk about the fuel economy again. Definitely traffic constrained here for how fast we can merge onto the interstate, but I have no worries that this meager 240 horsepower can merge this thing just fine. I mean, 0 to 60 under 7.5 seconds is what this thing's capable of, which is plenty of fine in my opinion for merging onto the freeway, right? So let's go ahead and let's do a little pedal down. I mean, it's still pulling hard, and that was 80. All right, so the rest of this is gonna be focused on fuel economy here. We're gonna be driving between 75 to 80 miles an hour, just keeping up with traffic here on the freeway. So let's talk about the safety features here. Radar cruise control, lane keep assist, blind spot monitor. How good is the lane keep? Well, the faster you're going, typically the better the lane keep is. In town, you can do cruise control in town, I could say. Going at about 45, 50 miles an hour. You saw me do it at 57. And it's not quite as stable. And the car's braking for me here right now. And so Also, you know, the radar cruise control is really, really good. I'm only at 1 bar of pacing. It goes up to 4 bars, I believe. So Toyota's cruise control and lane keep is very good. I haven't tested very many systems I would say are much better, and I'm happy with it. So there you have it. And we're gonna do our best to get good fuel economy here, but here's the thing, I'm not babying it. I'm not going to try to hypermile this. I'm not gonna sit behind this, you know, landscaping trailer and try to draft off of them. It's just not realistic. Also, in terms of quiet, what am I hearing? Well, at least with these 19s, I'm getting little to no road noise, and this road is notoriously loud, especially now that we're kind of on this rougher. It's still pretty quiet. I'm happy with the sound coming from the road. It's very minimal, very Lexus-like. Not quite as good as Lexus, but really close. And then I do have dual pane glass here. And so that dual pane glass keeps a lot of the wind out. I'm getting little to no like wind buffeting. And I hear a little bit around the mirrors, but I have to strain myself. So in terms of highway driving, it's very quiet in here. Very good ride quality, very comfortable. And what I would expect from a $45,000 car, it's there. It's premium level of highway driving, quiet and comfort. All right, I put almost 100 miles of freeway driving here. It's telling me on the clock 40.1 miles per gallon averaged over the last 96 miles. And I will say, even though I'm not trying to draft, when I've been put into drafting-like situations, the fuel economy, the instant fuel economy bar goes really, really, really high. So for example, right now I'm behind this Pilot, I don't know, let's say 30 feet behind them, and I'm averaging probably 40 to 60 miles per gallon, just depending on whether we're steady state, slowing down, speeding up. It's very impressive. So let's keep with this Honda Pilot, and let's see what happens with the, I mean, we're in a train of cars right here, right? And it's telling me, okay, we're doing steady state at 76, and it's going from about 40 to 55 miles per gallon. All right, that's really, really impressive. Again, this is just maximizing the aerodynamics of this car and how it behaves in a draft-like situation, but I think that's really gonna, I mean, I haven't been driving a lot like this, maybe only 10 to 15 miles, kind of in an interstate car train. So that will positively affect our fuel economy, I would say, to a small extent. But now, unless you're accelerating, you don't feel or hear the engine at all. It's quite impressive how good of a highway car this is. I already mentioned the sound suppression here is quite good, especially the dual pane glass, but I'm telling you, the engine, I don't feel anything through the floor, I don't feel anything through the pedals, and the steering wheel has no vibrations either, even going about 80 miles an hour here. So very, very impressive with the overall smoothness of this vehicle on the highway. All right, highway test now. We went 107.6 miles divided by 2.782. It's 38.7 miles per gallon. All right, so the first time around we got well, it said, wasn't it somewhere around 35 miles per gallon? The clock said 45 miles per gallon. Again, I used a different pump because someone else was at the exact pump I used previously. Now this time around, I waited for that exact pump to be available. I went to the same pump, and so I think 38.7 miles per gallon on the highway is very, very accurate. The clock, or the computer here, was a little bit optimistic. All right, it was at first fuel up, which is a bit questionable, and it is definitely something to think about when you are calculating fuel economy. Try to go to the same pump. So it says 37 on the highway. I got 38.6. I'm only running 1 bar of AC at 72 miles per gallon, or sorry, 72 degrees Fahrenheit. So overall, very, very fuel efficient on the highway, much more fuel efficient than what Toyota thinks. I don't know why I just put it away. I got this out. It says 37 on the highway, 39 in the city. I think I got closer to 45 in the city, and we got 38.7 on the highway. So I think you're going to be able to get around 40 miles per gallon combined in this vehicle. And I apologize for having such crazy results for the city driving. Now I know this clock is a little bit optimistic on the highway. It could be a little bit optimistic for the city. So I would say low 40s in the city, upper 30s on the highway. And there we go, around 40 miles per gallon, which is 2 miles per gallon better than what the EPA estimate is telling us. So are you surprised by the results? Well, I am, mainly because I'm surprised by how much pump differences can make. It should have been closer to 45 miles per gallon, and after the pump fill up, we actually got, well, close, like 35, 36 miles per gallon, which doesn't, I can't believe the pumps can be that far off from pump to pump, even at the same gas station. Like literally is the exact pump next to the pump that I used the first time. So there you have it. If you guys want to do your own tests, always fill up at the same pump. Try, I'm sure also temperature. I wouldn't be surprised if temperature has something to do with the amount of air, how the air expands in the tank. I haven't even thought about that yet, but that's a possibility. There's just so many factors. The thing is, it's like, well, it has a 14.5 gallon tank times 38.6 miles per gallon. That's what you're going to be getting on the highway. So crazy range here on the highway, and that's insane. Like, you're hardly ever going to be filling this vehicle up, depending on how much you drive. But like, I mean, it says it's full right now, and it says 627 miles of range. Okay, so it's over 600 miles of range here. You're just not going to have to go to the pump very much. But if you do need to fill it up and you do want to, you know, verify fuel economy, you're going to have to try to go to the same exact pump and the same methods. By the way, I use the 3-click method. I put the little stopper on it, and then it clicks off, and then I do 2 more clicks with my hand, and that's what I do with all my tests. All right, so there you go, there you have it, around 40 miles per gallon. I think you'll easily be able to overcome the EPA estimates if you have good weather. And obviously I have straight, flat streets, good weather here, and that's going to help me get well above the fuel economy ratings. And I'm not cranking the AC. The AC in here, which I haven't talked about, the AC is fantastic. It's 85 degrees outside. It's at 72 degrees here, just 1 bar, and it's been able to keep me nice and toasty cold, nice and frigid. I'm not using the right adjectives for being cold. I'm very comfortable, I'll say that. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for more fuel economy tests. The big lesson is fill up at the same pump if you want accurate results. Thank you guys. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.